Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Taylor. Soon we're gonna have Clayton joining me, better known as C Squared in the community. Today we have Swank, also known as Eric, I believe, and Amazon Mancy, better known as Noah, playing today. Noah's on blue-black control, and Eric is on red aggro. So first I'm gonna go over Noah's deck list. So the first thing that jumps out to me is how good Eric's removal is like for this matchup. As you see, everything costs very little, and even his Grasp of Darkness takes care of Hazaret. So he has about 5 single target answers for Hazaret, but 7 main board answers, which is really good, as well as the Gear Hulk to just kind of slow it down. Uh, Definitely his game plan for the first game is going to be kind of hard. I could see him only really winning through Gear Hulk and maybe a Liliana Ultimate, even though I don't see that happening. But sideboard, I think he actually gets quite a bit with Kalidas. Probably the most important thing in the sideboard of games, in my opinion. Flaying Tendrils is also going to be very good, as I expect Eric to be going wide. We might see Negates come in, maybe Disdainful Strokes. It depends on how Noah's feeling, but I could definitely see those being good. Overall, game one, I'm not super glad to be in Noah's seat, but let's check out Eric's deck. So as you see, he's on a straight mono red list, which it's not something you see super often in Frontier, but I can see why he chose it over the Atarka list. Raminap Ruins is just so good late game. It prevents you from flooding, and then of course just the 2 damage. But sideboard, he doesn't have as much in my opinion to bring in. Of course he's going to bring in Exquisite Firecraft, Chandra. We could see a Warping Whale to stop the board wipes. Burn spells are always good. I expect him to be going wide in the first few games. He might want to change that up in game 3 or game 2 just to throw him off, but as you see, he has so many token generators that we'll probably see a go wide plan. This is going to be a very interesting matchup in my opinion. If depending on how Noah gets to Kalidas, I think will really depend on will just show how this matchup is going to be. Collective Brutality should also put in a lot of work. If he can get Jace going with Collective Brutality or even Vraska's Contempt, I think he's going to close the game out pretty quickly. Just being able to remove something and gain life with Brutality is going to be so nice. Alright. So we're still waiting on Clayton. Going back to Noah's list, stuff like Blighted Fan might come back to hurt him in this matchup, but Radiant Fountain's going to be so good in this. Just the incidental 2 life for 0 mana is going to really help. He's basically the 0 mana counterspell for stuff like Wild Slash. Of course, he has the Prowess triggers for Swift Spear, but those Radiant Fountains really should put in a lot of work. We can see that Eric has a lot of non-creature spells for his 8 Prowess creatures, so that'll be nice. He has the 2 Zergos, which, I mean, just a 1-drop 2/2 is always really good, but a 2 mana repeatable 2 damage is also going to add up so much in the match. Dodges board wipes late game. I mean, it really just does so much that red needs. Smuggler's Copter, of course, is going to be good for looting all his extra lands when he starts flooding, or even if he just wants to get rid of like a Soulscar Mage for maybe a Stoke the Flames or maybe a Hurling Outburst. But Smuggler's Copter should put in a lot of work for this match. We could see a Disdainful Stroke coming in the sideboard games, but I actually don't see Swank's Hazaret unless I have the incorrect deck list. I might have been speaking too soon. Without Hazaret, I actually may give Noah the advantage. So I think my deck list might be messed up because I don't have Swank's Hazarets in this. However, I'm hearing that he does have Hazarets. So that'll make a pretty big difference. So we're seeing Eric go down to 6, which of course is going to help Noah, but Red really doesn't need that maximum amount of cards as long as they're just hitting their damage spells, they should be good. And really, Eric has so many ways of dealing damage that I shouldn't see the Mold of 6 really affecting the game all that much. Gonna see if both sides are keeping. Of course, Noah's got to be happy not having to mulligan against Red. He's going to need the most stuff he needs Y. Pretty soon we should be starting with our second co-host. Still working out some tech things. And we're connecting with the co-host now. Hey, Clayton.
Hello, Taylor.
So I was just updating the stream on what was going on. It seems like Eric or Swank has mulliganed to 6.
Okay.
And Noah on blue-black seems like he's going to keep to 7.
All right, hold on. I need to find the room. This is a
Okay.
mess.
I think it's called League Game.
Yep, found it.
All right. Looks like we're going.
Yep.
So Noah's going to be on the play, which is going to be huge for him.
Yes, it is.
Being in a really slow control deck against Red is like one of the worst things you can have on the draw.
However,
And
he.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say he has some advantages in his main deck that you don't necessarily often find. He has two copies of main deck Collective Brutality, as well as two copies of Languish. Both of those should give him a huge edge that other decks may not have.
Yeah, definitely. So it seems like Eric missed his turn 1 play, which is also going to be huge in this matchup. But
Y-
on Noah's side, in his opening hand, it looks like he had a Polluted Delta and Island, 2 Torrential Gearhulk, a Fatal Push, and a Grasp of Darkness. So he's really landlight. I actually don't know if I would have kept that hand. That's really risky.
It's really sketchy because he doesn't even have double black for the grasp, double 6-drop and dig through time. However, Eric did miss his second play, so
So it looks like Eric has a Hazaret and a Lightning Strike as his only 2 spells. So he's going to have a hard time winning this game, I think. But if he can land a Hazaret and Noah doesn't find that second black, it could be over just through that.
if he keeps drawing lands, though, then Hazaret never attacks.
That's also very true.
So it's not a great spot either way for either player, really. The fatal push is nice, but that's all uh, Noah appears to have going for him.
Yeah, definitely. Having 4 Torrential Gearhulk in this matchup might come to hurt him. Just
Yeah,
they're going to be pretty much
a
dead
little
besides the
little
first one.
clunky. Oh, but he drew Collective Brutality, and Collective Brutality forgives all sins.
Ooh, getting rid of a Glimmer. I'm expecting to just see, yep, Handjack and Drain. That's exactly what I expected. We'll probably see a Lightning Strike in response here.
Yeah, but getting to nab another spell that he might have, which he doesn't.
Oh, wow. So he's
As I
really
said,
going to need to start discarding with Hazaret. I think that's
yeah,
the only way he can like be in this game.
because on turn 4, it looks like he's still going to be stuck with 2 lands. Hazaret won't attack.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess it really depends on if Noah's going to hit his land drops. That's really what
Yeah,
this game's going to come down to.
and he missed his third.
That's going to be huge.
Does not have double blue for dig through time, does not have double black for grasp.
That was a greedy, greedy keep.
It sure was. And now Fatal Push won't be able to hit a 3-drop if that's what Eric drew.
That's definitely true. He's going to have to hit a fetch land if he wants to turn that on. However, I don't think that Eric has any 3-drop creatures in his deck. I think Hazoret's his only thing above 2. So we're a Smuggler's Copter, which is going to be pretty big.
Fatal Push does answer that nicely, though.
Definitely. Let's see if he can finally hit his third land. He does, and it's a
There's double
black.
black.
So important.
That's very, very, very important.
That might have been the best draw for him.
Still missing double blue for his Gear Hulks and his dig through time, but you'll take what you can get at this point.
So he has 3 cards in his graveyard, which he's going to turn on Dig Through Time pretty soon.
Another nice part about having Collective Brutality in the main deck.
Definitely, definitely. Soulscar Mage, that's kind of interesting. I would expect it at Hazoret.
I think that's probably correct as well because it is your most mana efficient play.
Maybe he's playing around the counter spell, but I don't know what one blue or which like single blue mana counter spell he has.
If he doesn't know lists, he could be playing around Censor.
That's true. I think he has a list though. Maybe he just forgot it. Maybe he didn't look at it. Either way, Noah's going to take care of that Smuggler's Copter, which is huge.
Yep.
So going back to Noah, as long as he hits another blue source, his Dig Through Time will then be on, and then I can just see him taking over the game from there.
But can he hit it? Radiant Fountain, not where you want to be.
That's going to be good in this matchup for the incidental life gain, but of course you want the blue more.
In this spot, it's not where you want to be.
Definitely. I think I'm still happy to be in Noah's seat, though. What about you?
I think I like Noah's seat simply because he still has 2 lands and a Hazoret, Eric does. So Hazoret's still not on.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be...
On top of that, no one knows about the Hazoret, so he's not going to spend his grasp on this Soulscar Mage.
Definitely. So Noah still has 2 Gear Hulk, Grasp, and Take Your Time in his hand. I guess he's still ahead. It really depends on how Eric's going to draw. Hitting the second blue source.
There's the second blue source.
We'll probably see him take a land with Dig Through Time and probably get a Gear Hulk. That's what I would do, just to start closing out the game at this point.
Yeah.
Can constantly.
There's not much pressure on the board right now, just a Soulscar Mage. And Ruins doesn't have any other deserts to generate a lot of advantage.
Definitely. So this turn, Noah can even grasp his Hazoret if Eric plays that and still cast Dig Through Time.
That's a huge tempo hit. It's so much tempo and card advantage in terms of just keeping Eric off of everything. There's really, I don't think anything Eric can do at this point.
I can't imagine Eric's happy to ever see the 5th land.
The 5th land, after you've applied a lot of pressure, is fine because it turns on your Ramnap Ruins.
That's true, but is it worth the spell? I guess it's not the worst thing to see, which is why you're playing the Ruins. But of course, it's not ideal.
In the way this game has gone, though, you don't want to see lands at all.
Oh yeah, of course. So Hazoret may be turned on depending on what Eric has in hand.
But we know about the grasp, so it's really a moot point.
Definitely.
And it looks like it was something.
A Dragon Fodder. Okay.
He'll at least get in 2 damage.
It'll trigger the prowess. Trigger. Yep, definitely.
But Grasp will clean up Hazoret and then Dig Through Time, and that should be game.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that'd be game. As long as Noah grabs a land, I can't see any way that Eric comes back from this.
Because then you have Gear Hulk, you can target a Grasp, a Push, or Dig Through Time.
And even if Eric starts top decking Hazoret after Hazoret, he has 2 Gear Hulk to just like constantly block and attack.
And 5 damage is a lot faster than 2,
That's for
as it
sure.
turns out.
Turn 6 on the control deck with 19 life. That is not great.
Yeah, that's the rough spot about where you want your 5th land after you put on a lot of pressure, and they're starting to get low 6, 7, around there,
For
and
sure.
then your ruins start looking really frightening. But at this point in the game, ruins is not going to do a whole lot.
And as expected, we are seeing an end of turn dig through time. I'm gonna try to see what he sees with this.
Languish would be a nice grab, so would obviously land for his Gear Hulks. But as far as actual spells, Languish, Collective Brutality.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just the land is the most important thing to me because as
Yeah,
long as you're just getting the
land.
Gear Hulk, you're not gonna lose this game. And the
But as
pregame, I
far as
was even talking about how bad Gear Hulk is in this matchup, but
yeah, in this spot, it's going to close out the game real quick.
definitely,
So it's just a matter of what spell he finds with it.
for
And I would
sure.
imagine Languish would be the best one just to clear up the board.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So it looks like he has 2 Ops, 2 Jace, Collective Brutality, Liliana, and Fatal Push.
He's missed on land.
Yeah, he missed on the land.
I like Collective Brutality, but he doesn't have much to discard at this point.
I think I would take maybe Opt and Jace just to dig for lands, but
Maybe Liliana on Opt, just to start clearing out the board.
yeah,
It checks the 1/1s.
he's going to go with Liliana and Fatal Push.
Also fine. That checks 2 of the 3 creatures.
Right.
And
Liliana is
then,
also a good way to close out the game. It's slower,
yes,
but
it's a
it's
little
more
slower.
inevitable.
And it checks creatures as it goes.
Definitely.
So
I understand why he went for that.
I just like Liliana plus Opt because I think it allows you to do both things, getting to your Gear Hulks and checking the board.
Yeah, that's probably the right play. Looks like we're probably going to see Liliana here. Yeah, we do.
I, the only reason we wouldn't, I think, is if he drew a 6 land into Gear Hulk.
Right, right. So in hand, he still has 2 Gear Hulk, a Fatal Push, and 1 Unknown. I'd have to imagine we're just going to see a plus. I don't know why he would minus. Yep, definitely see a
Yeah,
plus.
this is not a creature deck, so I can't imagine you'd minus hoping to hit.
Yeah, the only reason I could ever see that is in a late game where you need to rebuy your Gear Hulks and maybe you're trying to fuel Delve, but that's such a rare chance. But I mean, it is
Yeah.
something that Liliana does, which is a great reason to have it in the deck.
And again, as with Noah at 17, I really don't see how Eric claws his way back out of this. Liliana's checking the board. You're at Noah's at a high life total, so you can't ignore the Planeswalker and just continue to pressure him.
You
It's
know,
just
Noah did leave himself kind of open to a Hazoret here. I mean, there's no way that he should play around that. That would just be bad. But
I'm not sure how he can in this spot, given that he didn't find a 6th land.
right, right. I'm just saying that a top deck Hazoret could like
Right.
really start changing the way this game goes.
It definitely would go a long way, but Liliana even can. Well, no, Liliana would be dead. Um, hmm. Actually, yeah, Hazoret would get him back into the game.
This is a huge turn for Eric.
But it looks like no Hazoret.
So Noah has a murderous cut in his hand. That's what his unknown card is. So I'm expecting to see the Fatal Push on the Soul Scar Mage.
I don't really see a better target at this point in the game. And then with your Liliana plus next turn, the board is clear.
Yep, yep. You never want to use a removal spell on a token. Never feels good, but he might be far enough ahead where we're going to see that in the next 2 turns. Just so his Liliana can keep ticking up and possibly ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a hand check from Eric real quick.
I can't imagine it's anything particularly great.
No, I agree completely. A burn spell would be pretty good here. Looks like a lightning strike maybe because he has a play in his upkeep.
Could also just be sacking ruins.
Ooh, a wild slash. Okay.
Yeah, Wild Slash plus sack ruins deals with Liliana, but at this point, he's just kind of treading water.
It's not where you want to be, but at least it's something.
It's keeping Noah from winning the game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we see.
But Noah is still in firm control of the game.
For sure. Did he miss another land drop? Oh, no, no,
Nope.
he hit it.
He hit it, and I think that does it. I wouldn't be surprised if once the Gear Hulk gets cast, Eric concedes.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to hit another dig through time with a Gear Hulk, which is going to just keep letting him find what he needs. There's really no way for
Oh,
Eric to come back here.
as expected, Eric says in chat, once I see Gear Hulk, I concede.
Well, there we go.
Hazoret's no longer good enough.
That's really the exact game you want to see if you're on blue-black side.
Yeah, no early pressure, a greedy keep that pays off.
So it looks like Noah's playing it out. I guess technically the smart thing to do, but maybe unnecessary. Could have just showed the Gear Hulk. But definitely smart to keep playing it out.
Yeah. Man, when you're fetching on turn, what is this, turn 8 or something?
Yeah, turn 8.
And you're only going to 16 off the fetch? That must feel real nice.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Those are life totals that like you would see in a control mirror.
Or maybe a mid-range creature mirror,
Yeah, maybe.
but not red versus control.
Man, Eric did not have many threats that game.
He did not, and all of them were quite cleanly answered.
It just
He's going
shows
for
how good.
push.
Oh, he went for the fatal push over the take through time. I probably
I
didn't take through
suppose
time for the inevitability, but I see what he's doing.
he does have the second Gear Hulk that can still hit the dig.
All right, looks like we're seeing a concede from Eric.
I mean, he did say it.
Yep. Really nothing he can do from that position. So in the sideboard, I expect Noah to bring in the 2 Kalitas, 2 Fatal Push, maybe some Negate.
Flame Tendrils is a possibility.
Oh yeah, Flame Tendrils. Did I not say Flame Tendrils? Maybe I misspoke.
I believe you said Fatal Push in place.
Oh
I
yeah,
meant
yeah.
Flame
I
Tendrils.
definitely meant Flame
Yeah,
Tendrils.
yeah. Definitely like Cletus, definitely like Tendrils. Negate's a possibility, and beyond that, I don't think you want too much else.
I'd probably cut some Glimmer of Genius. Maybe all the disallows. Maybe he wants to keep some for Hazaret.
I definitely like cutting Disallow. It seems clunky.
I agree.
Um, Trim one Glimmer. He does have 3 main deck copies of Vraska's Contempt, which is quite nice.
Definitely. He has several main deck answers for Hazaret, which kind of surprised me.
it looks like this main deck is actually tuned more towards beating the aggro deck.
Yeah, we're not seeing Scarab God, which has become so popular in these blue-black decks, but it seems like it's actually working out here.
I mean, between Vraska's Contempt, Collective Brutality, and Languish, Liliana, it's very well set up for this matchup.
From Eric's side, he has some Fleet Wheel Cruisers in his sideboard. I'm not exactly sure what those matchups are for, or which matchups those are for, but maybe this is one of them. It is just damage off the top. Um, we'll probably see the two Chandra come in.
I definitely like Chandra's.
We'll probably see Exquisite Firecraft.
Also seems quite nice. You can't imagine there are many counter spells post board, but if there are, that's 4 damage.
I could see Scavenger Grounds coming in. Not super likely, but I could understand it. Warping Whales could come in for the board wipes. Again, I wouldn't, but I could see why somebody would. But
It also hits Jace.
oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Definitely at least Exquisite Firecraft and Chandra's.
Yeah. Warping Whale possible?
So Noah says he's taking out 3 Disallow and an Opt, and putting in 2 Cletus and 2 Flame Tendrils.
I'm not sure about taking out the Opt.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I'm sure he has his reasons. I just feel like Opt is so much more than Glimmer.
Yeah, you just want cheap interaction.
It's half the spell for a fourth of the price.
hmm On Eric's side, what would you take out for those Chandras and uh, Exquisite Firecrafts?
I think I'd probably take out Soulscar Mage. Just not having a haste creature. Well, that leaves him weak at 1 drops. Man, I don't know. It's kind of tough. Maybe
Maybe Wild
Reckless
Slash
Bushwhacker.
is
Oh, yeah,
Wild
Wild
Slash
Slash is
is
good.
kind of medium. It's quite medium in the matchup.
I agree on that. I didn't see Wild Slash. You're right. I think Bushwhacker and Wild Slash might be my first choices. But probably just Wild Slash.
Yeah, and maybe switch a land for a Scavenger Grounds.
Oh, okay. I missed his sideboard plan. So I have a different deck list than the one he submitted.
Ah,
But it seems like he's putting in 2 Chandra, 1 Hazaret, 1 Firecraft, 2 Fleetwheel Cruiser, 2 Warping Whale, and a Scavenger Grounds. Taking out all 4 Wild Slash, 2
yep.
Zergo, and 3 Hordling Outburst.
Hmm. I'm not sure about taking out the Hordling Outburst
Yeah, I agree.
because most of Noah's removal is 1-for-1 single target removal spells, in which Hordling Outburst shines.
Definitely.
He only has access to 4 total sweepers between 2 Languish and then post board 2 Flame Tendrils.
And then without Hordling Outburst, Reckless Bushwhacker doesn't really do a ton.
Yeah, there's only Dragon Fodder that really pushes it over the edge.
So I'm not extremely surprised to see the Fleetwheel Cruisers come in, but that wasn't what I expected.
It seems perfectly reasonable in the matchup. Push won't always be on. It does die to grasp, but it dodges all the sweepers.
Alright. Let's see if they're going to mulligan or if they're going to keep. Okay, so Noah has a snap keep. He has. Well, he says snap keep. He has 5 lands, Languish, and Vraska's Contempt.
That's liable to just die.
I agree with that.
Oh, his snap keep appears to be facetious,
Uh,
but he's going to keep it.
Eric has 3 mountains, a Ramonap Ruins, a Copter, Stoke the Flames, and Soulscar Mage. That's pretty good. It's a little land heavy, but
It's a lot better than his last hand, that's for sure.
definitely. And
He
he's
at
going to
least
have an
has early
unanswered
threat.
Copter. Both these keeps from Noah have been very risky, but first one
Yeah.
worked out, so maybe this one will too.
Looks like Eric is going to take a mulligan.
Oh, okay.
I can see why he did, because 4 lands is I don't think where you want to be in your opening hand. But it did have early pressure with a
Yeah,
copter that helped smooth things out.
I agree. I think I would have kept that just because he had the copter to get rid of the lands, but 4 lands is a lot. All right, we're seeing a turn 1 Soulscar Mage from Eric.
This turn, the way he played it also indicates that he doesn't actually have basic mountain, so he might have a land light hand.
That's
Very
very true.
possible. And it does want to go up all the way to 4 at some point, so it could come back to bite him.
So I'm getting an update from Eric. He's got Lightning Strikes, Fleetwood Cruiser, Scavenger Grounds, and Smuggler's Copter.
Okay, so he does have a second land,
And
and
he
he
can
does have
cast pretty
copter to
much
get there.
everything.
Yeah, copter really helps there.
Ooh, Noah drew a Fatal Push.
That's quite good. That might ruin Eric.
So Noah also had 2 polluted Delta. I'm kind of surprised to see him throw out the Sunken Hollow.
I think he wants to save. No, Eric didn't show anything that died to a revolted fatal push. So yeah, I agree with you. I was gonna say wanted to save them for revolt triggers, but
So Eric also drew a Mountain for turn, which is pretty good.
okay.
Smuggler's Copter should help sculpt what he needs, although we're probably going to see a Fatal Push.
Definitely gonna see a fatal push. I can't imagine a better target.
Oh, Noah drew that Catacomb for turn, so he's still very land heavy.
So his spells look like push, contempt, languish.
That's correct.
It's an okay spot to be, especially since you're pushing the only damage of this turn. It
Right.
looks like.
Definitely expect to see the push here. Seems like there's a little bit of confusion between the 2 players.
Not entirely sure why. Oh, I think Noah is just saying that the crew happens and then he's going to do something
Uh,
before combat.
okay.
Yep, there's a push and no damage this turn. So again, we see the blue-black control player getting through the first few turns of the game at a high life total.
Fatal Push really did so much for these Eternal formats.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's great in Standard too. Not as good, but just seeing a 1-mana removal spell against red's so rough. You couldn't really ask for more.
Not sure what Noah drew for turn, but he's
So it's
looking pretty good.
I think he drew an island.
Oh yeah, you're right. He didn't have an island in his opening hand, so yeah.
So you have minimal thinning whenever you fetch, but at this point, I still think I want to fetch just to get like the few percentage points out there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is at the end of Noah's turn.
I would assume so. Just trying to get his damage in. Although, given that he has Soulscar Mage, I'm not sure about that.
I also would have held that just because of Jason Liliana, I think. You never want to use your burn spells on those kind of things, but sometimes you have to.
And we know he has Fleetwheel Cruiser in hand, so it's not like he's holding land Hazaret, where this play makes a lot more sense then.
Right. So it looks like he drew a 2-mana spell.
Another Copter would be nice, but it is just a Dragon Fodder.
Dragon Fodder is not bad here. Of course, it's going to get swept up by the Languish.
Yeah.
One of the better things for Noah to see, I suppose.
Copter would have been ideal, though, for Eric,
For
because it
sure.
would have survived through the Languish. and then that would have allowed him to just draw a threat and then attack for 3 post Languish,
Definitely.
or force Noah to use his contempt on Copter.
So we
Either
haven't seen it
way,
come up yet, but the language does also hit the Hazaret, which is
yeah,
not nothing.
no, it definitely is a point in Languish's favor.
Something that we're definitely missing in standard right now. Frontier has so many answers to Hazaret, it makes it seem not as good. It's
It's
still
still
a great
powerful.
card for sure,
Yeah,
but and I expect with 2 lands in hands we will see the languish.
yeah. Given that the play was Dragon Fodder, there's no reason not to sweep all this away. What would be nice for Eric though is land play the Fleetwheel Cruiser smash for 5.
Yeah, he's still gonna have to find a way to crew it after that, but still, getting him down to 8 life is gonna be so nice for him.
It's just going to be such a it's just going to be such a different game from last game where we saw Noah constantly above 15. If we can see him go to single digits, then the pressure's really on, and now ramming up Ruins is starting to look like a real spell.
Right.
Whereas in the last game, it was kind of embarrassing.
So Noah has a second Vraska's Contempt. That's gonna be really nice for him.
Yep, and we see land Fleetwheel Cruiser.
If I'm Noah, I'm kind of excited to see that because that shuts down how much damage he's gonna be doing every turn.
Sure, but it is 5 damage. So it's bad, but it's not the worst thing. It's not Hazaret.
Especially because he has the 2 Vraska's Contempt, he's gonna have an
Yeah.
easy way to deal with it, gain life. Has still his backup for Hazaret.
Yeah,
Do we
Noah's
know
in
the
a
last card in
fine
Eric's hand?
spot. Um,
I don't
I
think
do
we
not
do.
believe so.
All right.
Noah's in a fine spot, but at 8, with 2 deserts in play, Raminap Ruins is looking pretty real.
That's very true.
On the flip side, Vraska's Contempt gains 2 life. So I think Noah's still in firm control of the game, but he needs to find a way to win.
So Noah just drew Dig Through Time, and that will help him
Oh,
find something to win. And again, if he
well,
had played those fetches earlier, he could play it by now.
yeah, he wouldn't be able to do Dig plus Contempt this turn, but next turn he definitely would have been able to.
Right. If you're Noah, what are you hoping to see? Just another Gear Hulk so you can close out the game? Maybe a Kalidas?
Probably Kalidas, just to start like life gain.
So Eric's hit his 5th land. Probably gonna get
And
rid of Stomping Grounds, activate Raminap Ruins if I had to guess.
yeah, notably his 5th land is much better this game when Noah is at 8 instead of 17 or whatever absurdly high life total it was.
This might also give Noah a chance to fire off that Dig Through Time.
Yeah, still has
You,
5 cards in hand too.
these 2 Raminap Ruin activations as well. Well, assuming that he draws another land, he has at least one. I kind of see why he didn't want to fetch, because he would be going to 2 if he could activate it twice. Seems like Eric has a play. Lightning
Lightning
Strike.
strike.
So he doesn't know, but he could go for the win here, but he will get blown out by Vraska's Contempt.
Correct. Actually, if that's what's on his mind, he could play around it, because between the 2 deserts, Noah's at 1 and Contempt does not have a target.
Right.
So if he can find burn spells instead of creatures, he could find a way to win through the double Contempt.
And a pass. I'm not happy to see that if I'm Noah.
No. I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm at 5. I don't have targets for my Contempts that gain me life.
Wow, and he didn't fetch and go for the Dig Through Time. I can see why, but it's kind of scary. I think you have to start looking for a way to close out the game if you're Noah. I think taking a
But
turn off was like a little too much.
well, the fetches put him at risk of dying to the Raminap ruins.
Oh, I
Oh,
agree.
collective
Okay,
fatality.
that's a great draw.
He really needed some way to gain life. Surprised he's not discarding to take a look at the hand. Does he have lands in hand?
I'm not sure what he has in hand.
Because if you have a land, I would discard it just to look.
Well, he definitely had a land. He played a polluted delta this turn.
Yeah. Hmm.
Man, that is kind of
Bit of a
confusing
strange
play.
play.
At least he's out of range of the Raminap ruins for now.
For now.
Oh, wow.
Sack the ruins. Interesting.
I did not expect to see that. Maybe he has another ruins in hand?
He might.
That's the only reason I could see sacking the ruins over the scavenger grounds.
Okay.
Yep. I think you just gotta hit Gear Hulk and get back Collective Brutality, but
You can't hit Brutality. It's a sorcery.
oh, you're right. It's not Snapcaster
I'm not
Mage.
sure if Noah can fetch here because he's at risk of dying to ruins, untapped ruins if he does that.
You're right. Man, I don't know what Noah wants to hit here. It's
Cletus. It's got to be Cletus.
man, it's not a
He,
good
he needs
spot.
a bit of a life cushion in order to use these fetches, and then cast his dig through time.
Yeah, you're right. And Vraska's Contempt doesn't play incredibly well with Kalidas. Okay, a Blighted Fem's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Still, maybe dead to a burn spell.
Yeah.
What are we gonna see here?
Oh, he has Cletus in hand, it looks like.
Oh, does he? That's nice.
I think you've got to play it. You need that life gain. Eric throwing out a bit of banter there.
Still dead to a burn spell, but at least he's
Yep.
getting back in the
But
game.
with the way his hand looks, he can't play around a burn spell.
You're right. Absolutely. He had to play this.
He was forced into this play because Eric has not given him a target for contempt. I think you got to ruins hopes to rip a burn spell.
You have to. That's the only way you're winning if you're on Eric's side. If Noah gets to untap, I don't think that Eric has a way to win.
Definitely agree there. Cletus is doing good work, and yep, we see ruins.
Go into 3. Lightning Strike,
Chandra would also
Stoke the
be nice.
Flames.
Chandra would be nice. It would deal with Cletus. That's his only way to deal with that.
True.
And then it would put Noah back in the spot of I can't fetch.
I think he has to fetch to get rid of the Chandra, then play Vraska's Contempt, gain life
But then
back.
if he fetches, he goes down too low and puts them back in range of ruins.
He goes to
Sure,
1,
he
then
gained,
goes back up to 3, maybe. But we didn't see that, so I think we're probably going to see Noah win.
I believe so as well. Eric saying he's drawn 3 lands in a row.
Man, that's rough. That was a much closer game.
Yes, it was.
And, Eric really came back. I thought that he was going to be down for sure, but those
We're not
Raminap
playing,
Ruins did so much.
yeah, and not playing any targets for contempt really put Noah in a bind.
Definitely. I didn't expect to see that. But Noah should have this locked up. I don't know what can come out of Eric's
If
side.
he ruins end step, draw Stoke the Flames,
He could also just Vraska's Contempt his Kalidas, which
his own Cletus, but
it's not
and
what
you
you want to
live.
do.
you live, but now you're back in the spot of I'm dead to anything.
Right. There's also Exquisite Firecraft, her
And
fourth
double.
land in a row.
That's probably all she wrote.
Yeah, I would expect revealing the lands is him conceding. So he had 9 lands that game, so both games he kind of flooded out.
Yeah.
It's kind of the downside to playing aggro, though,
But we did almost see the power of what Raminap Ruins does to mitigate flood.
for sure.
We He came so close. Put him in a bind with those fetches and leaving those contempts to rot, but not quite enough pressure in the early game to really ride that to victory.
So I believe that puts Noah at 4-1 in the league, if I'm correct.
I believe so. I believe they were both X1 going into this. So
So
yeah,
they're both still alive for top 8, but Noah only needs one more win, and he should
Noah,
have
I
it locked.
believe at 4-1, I think you can draw in if he's playing a non X2
You're right. There's only 6 rounds. I was thinking there was 8. So it seems like we're gonna see Sam Slam play Noah next,
for
and
an
he's on
exhibition match.
Sultai Delirium. So it's mainly green black with blue in the sideboard.
Okay, I would imagine things negate disdainful stroke that like, or
It's negates, one, 2 negates, 1 dispel, 3 ceremonious rejection.
okay, so yeah, a counter spell package.
Yeah. Other than that, just pretty basic green black delirium. Uh, I think I'd rather be on the green black side. Surprisingly, having 3 Emrakuls is just that's a lot to ask for. 3 Emrakuls,
Emrakul,
3 Ishkana, 3 Liliana,
Emrakul seems like a
five
game
manas.
changer. Emrakul is definitely a game changer,
Even the Ishkana is going to be hard to deal with. I mean, he has the board wipes, but
but Ishkanah survives Languish.
right. So he's going to have to at least 2 for 1 to get rid of it, at the
Yep.
very least.
And if your control opponent is spending 2 spells to deal with your 1 spell, that's about all you can dream of.
So, from the Delirium side, I think he's playing every card type available on the main board, from what I can tell. Land,
Um,
sorcery, creature,
what would his artifact be?
walking ballista.
Walking Ballista, sure.
Yeah, he's playing everything. Well, except for tribal, but
Well, we don't have tribal.
right. Not until next set. No, I
Is
hope
tribal
not.
coming back in the next set?
No, I think they're done with tribal forever.
That'd be nice though. I think tribal's fun.
So, gonna try to find the new game for those watching on
Does not
stream.
does not appear to be up yet. There it is.
Still just waiting for untap. Very excited for the third version of Untap to come out. The one
Yeah,
that we're
this
on now is
version
just
of
very slow and clunky.
yeah. I'm hoping for some and and also just having it run faster, but just have better functionality from a user perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Because right now, sideboarding is a pain. Searching for things in your deck is a bit of a pain.
I actually think the search functionality is not bad because you can just type in what you're looking for, and I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to.
That's for sure, especially since you're coming from cockatrice, right?
I am
Do you play
primarily.
on Miko at all?
I've played a little bit of Moto, but it usually just eats up so much space on the computer that it just burns out, and I just get tired of it.
Yeah, I get that.
But I've
But
played on I think about everything at this point. I've played Untap, Cockatrice, X Mage, and Moto.
yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Very excited for version 3 of Untap, though. It's
Yeah,
going to be
any
so nice.
any improvement would be very nice.
Alright, so in this hand, Noah's going to keep an Urborg, two Polluted Delta, a Fetid Pools. Um, my picture suddenly started
Looks like an
loading.
opt.
Opt, Jason, Fatal Push.
Yeah. Seems like a perfectly reasonable opener. I think I'd be looking to cycle the fetid pools
Yeah, maybe.
because you have your deltas can go both get islands, and then with Urborg you have double black, double blue.
So Sunken Hollow is his draw for turn, so definitely going to cycle at Fetid Pools with that draw.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't throw up the Polluted Delta so he could go with either an Opt or a Fatal Push, but probably the Opt. Maybe he wants to save that for later, but
I'm not sure what he would be saving it for, but at the same time, getting your tap land down on turn one is pretty nice too.
well, he does have the two Polluted Deltas, so the Sunken Hollow would eventually come in untapped. But that's definitely why he played it. We don't have access to Sam Slam's hand, do we?
I do not believe so.
Alright, I'm going to get that real quick. Oh, my bad. I was looking at Sam Slam's hand, thinking that was Noah.
No,
So
that
he,
was Noah with the opt.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I was thinking that the
fatal
Sunken
push.
Hollow was Noah.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, because that's where he was in the last game. He was on the bottom.
Right. All right, and a Jace turn two. So Opt and Jace is pretty much exactly where you need to be.
Yep, pretty great opener. And there's Bloomy Marsh.
So maybe we'll see a Grimflayer here.
I think Grimflayer would be ideal. Obviously, it gets wrecked by Fatal Push, but it's about where you want to be. Gets your graveyard set up for Delirium.
Maybe you want to throw
Puts
out
pressure on the board.
maybe you want to throw out Blocking Ballista just so you can get in the graveyard soon. Although I doubt that's what you want
I
to
don't.
do.
I don't think that's where you want to be right now. I think you'd rather get on the pressure.
I agree. But as we know, he has the Fatal Push in hand, so
So it's
Grimflayer
not going to
will not be
work.
long for this world.
No.
But all right, he has a
Looks like.
Liliana, Urborg, Satyr Wayfinder, Traverse, Ishkanot, and Grapple. And Satyr Wayfinder is definitely the best play right here,
Oh yeah.
even better than Grimflayer. Let's see. He hits a Canopy Vista, Sunken Hollow, Ishkanot, and Sunken Hollow. So he's playing the
Given.
Canopy Vista and the Prairie Stream, so he can play Flooded Strand. How do you feel about that in this deck?
I think it's fine.
I feel
It's
like
not
these fetch land 3-color mana bases for shards are kind of going away a little bit with the printing of the fast lands.
right, but at the same time, the fast lands work with that because your BFZ lands have the card types.
Right.
Unfortunately, it looks like we're missing a bit of card art, or at least I am. I'm not sure if you are.
I think it's coming through on my end, so that should be good for the stream.
Well, then that's about perfect then.
So he has 2 card types in his graveyard right now, land and creature. Probably the 2 easiest to get in there.
Yeah, I would imagine. But we also know he has a grapple in hand, so that's instant. He also has Traverse in hand, so if he needs to do that, he has his sorcery. So in hand, he has Delirium.
Yep. I think right now I'm happy to be a Noah spot, but this game isn't going to be decided until at least probably turn 5, 6,
It's going to
way
be a
after
while.
that.
Having an active Jace is quite nice.
So we'll probably see this grapple with a pass resolve. That might set him up with Delirium.
Finding Grimflayer is quite nice. But it looks like he goes for the Blooming Marsh. Just trying to hit his land drops.
Hmm.
Like gives him 3 card types in his graveyard, so Traverse is not active this turn.
And he's also only on green black main board. So
But it
the
looks like
Sunken
he's going to go for
Hollows
Traverse
all he
now.
needs. Okay. Would you have held on to that, or would you have used it immediately?
Um, he has Liliana Ishkana in hand. Looks like he wants to get his Ishkana set up for turn 5 Ishkana plus friends.
So you're
I
happy just using the Traverse for a land?
I think so.
That seems fair.
It's a very reasonable play, and you have a lot of choices there, and
So
I can
what
see
all
either choice being correct.
what all have you played with in Frontier? Because you're known for playing a mono black Eldrazi aggro deck that nobody else but you wins with, but you cannot lose with it.
Um, that's actually about all I play. I don't play much outside of the various leagues that have been done over the past year, so
Okay.
I don't have much experience with anything else. But I have played against a lot of things, so
And obviously, as much as you win, you're a pretty good player. So I trust your judgment with what you would get here. I was just curious if you had any Delirium experience or anything like that.
I mean I've played against the deck a lot while it was in standard, and I've seen the play pattern enough there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think he just wants to make sure his turn 5 Ishkana is happening on turn 5, first of all, that he has all 5 lands. And second of all, that it's making 3 spiders.
It's kind of weird that he got an island with his Traverse, considering that he's only on green black. Maybe
Oh,
it's to bluff counter spells?
when he said Lily, he wasn't specific about which Lily. It turns out it's Death's Majesty.
Right.
I was assuming Last Hope.
Death's Majesty is not a card that we see very often in any format.
It is, however, if you can get it to resolve and you have, a lot of ways to get creatures in your graveyard or just powerful creatures with ETBs, that could be his turn 5 play as well. Just bring back the Ishkanan in his graveyard.
Yeah, that's a lot of value.
And then you have a Lily um, plus an Ishkanah. That's a very powerful spot to be.
Noah does have the Vraska's Contempt, but that Liliana could resolve.
I mean, if Liliana resolves Vraska's Contempt at that point, you have the Ishkanah's already happened now. Contempt is not enough.
But at least you're getting rid of the Liliana.
Sure,
It's not where you want to be, but
but
at
you
least
just
you're
got
not
two for
facing a
one.
Liliana and an Ishkanah.
Yeah, but you just got 2 for 1, and that's exactly what Green Black wants to do. Just slowly over the course of the game, grind you out, grind you out. 2 for 1 here, 2 for 1 there, and that's what that kind of play would do.
We haven't seen very many Delirium decks in the league. How do you feel about Delirium right now in Frontier?
I think it's a lot more powerful than people give it credit for, simply because Seder Wayfinder is such a big addition to the deck.
I agree with that.
It was the missing 2 drop from the deck in Standard, where before you would just kind of play a dorky creature like a Sylvan Advocate or something. Now you have something that just actually helps with your game plan.
Yeah, not only does it fill the graveyard, it also is just a blocker for the early game, which is pretty much all
hmm
they want to do is dirtle.
Since I am missing card, I'm going to have a hard time counting card types for Emrakul, but I can't imagine we're too far off from that.
One, two, three, four.
We
We
just
still
got
have four.
4. Okay,
We have
so our
sorcery,
Emrakul mana.
land, instant, and creature.
So it looks like with this land drop 4 and 5, we'll be at 8 Emrakul mana out of 13,
Right.
getting dangerously close, and Collective Brutality is a nice draw.
Yeah, right in time to deal with Jace, I think. Well, he's going to activate
No,
Jason
he's going to
response.
activate Jason Response, yeah. He has 4 cards in his graveyard. That's what just went to check.
Maybe he has a fatal push in hand that we don't know of. I don't think so, though. To deal
Discarding
with the
Liliana is
Jace.
interesting.
Oh, wow.
I guess he wants it as a card type,
That's
because now he
all that
only...
I could see.
Because now he's at effective 9 Emrakul mana.
So I guess Turbo Emrakul is like how you're going to win this match. I'm sure he has more experience with the deck than I do, so.
Yeah.
Although Liliana can win you the game by herself if not dealt with.
I mean, just the value of getting Ishkanah back seems really strong.
Right. So in hand, Noah has Fatal Push, Vraska's Contempt, Sunken Hollow, Dig Through Time, and Blighted Fin. Well,
Fen looks pretty embarrassing against a board of Wayfinders and extra spiders, but other than that, the hand looks pretty great.
Fatal Push is not at its best in this matchup, but
But
it's
it's
removal.
necessary. You need to answer the early Grim Flayers.
And he's actually getting rid of Fatal Push over Blighted Fin. Maybe
I
he
think he
drew
just wants
another
to hit
Fatal
his land
Push.
drops. He probably just wants to hit his land drops for dig through time
Yeah, I could see that.
because he has 5 cards in graveyard. He wants to be able to dig through time, possibly find a relevant spell with it too.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Of course, dig through time's about to be taken most likely.
He can still cast it in response.
Oh, sure.
He does not have any two mana counter spells main board, does he? Seems like we're having a
Um,
judge call for something.
I think he's just making sure that collective brutality still resolves even though Jace is gone. But
Oh
it does.
yeah, yeah.
It is a thing with 2 targets, and the targets were there when the spell was cast, so
Right,
it will resolve as many effects as it can.
right. Oh wow, he did not play Take Through Time in response.
That's questionable.
Maybe he just forgot that he could.
He probably did. He probably was on the plan of if Jace is no longer there, then um, collective brutality fizzles, and wasn't thinking, well, if it does resolve, what do I do then?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess so. It's a tough spot if you're Noah. Really, Languish isn't what you want against green black either.
No, it because it doesn't answer Ishkanah fully, um, and the rest of the game plan it doesn't do much against. Also, Jace flipping on this turn means Seder Wayfinder chips in for 1 on Jace, which is nice. Means if Jace wants to flash something back, it's going to die.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
But Liliana checks that.
Yeah. Liliana is almost a perfect draw. And he's able to tap the fetch with the Urborg.
I would have left Island untapped simply for because Urborg is always black, where Island is blue-black at this point.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to make any difference at this point in the game.
Yeah, just a bluff right now. So we're probably going to see an Ishkanah here, if I had to guess.
I can't imagine any different. There's no blue mana up. Ishkanah's pretty good against this board, good against Languish.
Ishkanah really is the best card if you're trying to stall up the board and just lock up your opponents.
Can't imagine any play being better than Ishkanah.
You know, with as popular as blue black control is in the league right now, I would not be surprised to see a few green black decks pop up next season.
Or any sort of just grindy Emrakul kind of deck. Because
Yeah.
Emrakul seems like the perfect answer to blue black control.
Even Emrakul and blue black control.
Yeah. Yeah, we see the language here, but it's not good enough. Well,
Well, Liliana is going to clean up the Ishkanah at least.
yeah, with Liliana, language becomes good enough.
Or it should.
Yeah, looks like he sees the play. But this is where Liliana Death Majesty would be quite good.
Yeah, getting rid of that with what spell is that with Collective Brutality?
Brutality. Yeah,
That was kind of iffy. Might come back to haunt him.
I think it will, because I don't think he's going to have enough, and the Planeswalkers are going to take over the game. And I think Emrakul will be a tad too late.
So we're far away from a Jace ultimate, but a Lily ultimate is not without question here. And if Liliana can ultimate, even Emrakul might have trouble dealing with it.
And Jace can always flash back a dig through time.
Yep,
We
that's
have
true.
that in the bank.
Does Noah have any way to interact with Emrakul?
Um,
He has
Let me go check.
disallows, but
But
that's
disallow
not
only answers half of
great.
it.
And he has a Gear Hulk in hand as well as Vraska's Contempt, apparently.
Gearhulk is nice, but yeah, it looks like his only answer is disallow, and that's only half of it. Um,
So what do we see here? Vessel of Nascency?
Vessel of Nascency flipped and found Wayfinder, Grimflayer, land.
So he's now on 5 card types in the graveyard.
Looks like he took Prairie Stream. I guess he just wants Emrakul.
So
His
he's at
plan is Emrakul.
12. He's pretty close. Brutality.
That takes care of Contempt.
Man, if you're Noah, you just really have to hope you hit that disallow. Because you're not going to beat a resolved Emrakul.
No, once Emrakul's on board, you can't beat it.
Do we know the last card in Sam Slam's hand?
I believe it is Emrakul.
Oh, you're right, you're right. So, top deck land, this game's probably over.
Well, top deck untapped land. Notably does not have two basics.
Oh, wow. You're right. 6 types. What am I missing? Oh,
Planeswalker, sorcery,
Planeswalker. That was the one I wasn't counting.
enchantment. We just got enchantment. That's what it was. With Vessel of Nascency.
Okay, so
Emrakul's next turn.
he's got to hit disallow with his draw. So I think we'll probably see a concede based on what Noah's saying.
Unless he found the disallow to keep Emrakul off the board. I have to.
Possible that's
I,
all you can
I
really
feel like you
do.
have to minus the Jace, dig through time, find disallow. I feel like that's what you. Oh, he does have. Never mind. He has Blooded Fen. We were saying that wouldn't be quite good enough in
Oh,
the matchup, but he has Blooded Fen for the Emrakul.
suddenly that land looks pretty good. And it doesn't seem like Sam Slam noticed that either. Or maybe he did and he just doesn't care.
I mean, what are his other plays?
Yeah, that's true. A little bit of confusion with the land there.
Yeah, but I
Probably
don't
won't
think it
matter.
makes a difference unless he has Traverse the Overworld.
Keeping it green up, he might have drawn Traverse.
Yep, and we're gonna see end step Blooded Fen take care of Emrakul. Nope, it was
With his
just land
land.
for Sam Slam.
So suddenly we very fast went from thinking that Sam Slam was going to win to now it looks like Noah is probably just going to ultimate Lily, and I can't see Sam Slam coming back very quickly from that. She adds up so fast.
Well, Sam can minus on his controlled turn
Yeah, that's true.
and buy himself some more time. There's a Contempt in the graveyard, actually. He can minus Jace, Contempt, take care of Liliana, which is a
Yeah, that's
pretty
going to be a
nice turn.
beating. Where did
Polluted
the
Delta,
Jace
Fail to
come
Find
from?
is nice.
Was that already in his hand?
I think he had Gearhulk Jace in hand, drew Polluted
Okay.
Delta, but Polluted Delta, Fail to Find is nice. Jace, oh, it looks like he's going to go for the Gearhulk.
Gear Hulk, Contempt on Lily. Huh.
I'm
That's iffy.
I don't agree with that line of play because I think the Liliana is just going to kill you now.
Your play of minusing Jace, flashing back Contempt, getting rid of Lily is definitely the best play you can do. and then failing to
Because it
find the
also
delta.
checks Jace, because Jace is getting close too.
Right. So we're probably just gonna see a minus minus from both Planeswalker and a pass.
Yeah,
It's gonna buy him time, but it's not gonna further his game plan or anything.
no. It doesn't deal with the Planeswalker problem on board.
So if you're Noah, do you play Jace here and just hope to flip the baby Jace? Just to like dig for more stuff, or are you happy keeping it in hand for a while?
Um, I could see playing it and then having it there, and then you loot when you need to.
Oh, there's a disallow in the graveyard. Did you notice that?
There is now. It was flipped when Liliana minus.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, it was a disallow and another Jace.
So we saw a plus from Jace. I think I might have minus there just to hit the tick through time.
Notably, Noah did not play a land, which means Gearhulk would not have been castable. So I think
Why is
Sam just
that?
got ultra punished because Pluto Delta would have fetched and failed to find
Oh,
if he had.
yeah, yeah. Going back to that play.
Yeah, so Sam got ultra punished.
For sure. But Grapple's gonna. Wait, what's going on here? That's not how what works.
What happened here?
What?
Oh, Flooded Strand found a forest, and that's we're getting the right land off the Flooded Strand. That's what happened.
Okay, that really doesn't matter, but
It's important, but
for sure.
it doesn't change the outcome of the game, which I'm pretty sure me is Noah winning. Oh, and there was no more target for uh, Flooded Strand, which is pretty funny at this point in the game.
Noah actually thinks that he's dead.
Well, Ishkana now is back in play.
As we
Also,
saw, Language
could
can
back
deal with it,
could
so I wouldn't say he's
oh
necessarily dead.
well, Grapple also gets back Emrakul, so Emrakul gets to try again.
Mm-hmm. He still has a chance to find answers, though.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a spot where you want to flash back your dig through time.
I think you have to. You don't have any other options. If he doesn't find a disallow through the stake through time, though, that Emrakul probably in the game.
Yeah,
And it just
or
goes to show
Gearhulk.
how strong this green black deck is, too. The fact
Yeah,
that,
it's very resilient. Lots of ways to keep recurring its threats.
and then also there's 3 copies of Emrakul on top of that.
Yeah. So with traverses, grapple with the past, vessel of nascency, you're almost guaranteed to find Emrakul in the game
Yeah,
because
if
you're
not like up to 3 a
churning
game.
through so much.
Granted, most of the time the first Emrakul you cast wins you the game against a lot of
Yeah,
decks.
but as we see here, the first Emrakul did not do that. So having that redundancy and just having that I'm always going to have Emrakul and I'll be able to find more of them just really helps you win the long games against control decks where Emrakul might not always end the game upon casting.
How do you feel about a ban list in Frontier? I've seen a few people talk about Emrakul and Marvel should be targets for that. I'm personally not super on board with
I don't
that way of
think we have
thinking.
enough big time results where we can see decks dominating a metagame and whatnot, where that would be warranted. But if we ever do get to a point where we have a lot of high end events and we start seeing decks become oppressive and whatnot, when you have um, pros playing the game and whatnot, breaking it, maybe maybe then. But right now, I don't think we need anything.
I completely agree with you.
And we see Gearhulk here for the disallow to counter the one half of Emrakul. Then it looks like he does not want Emrakul on board.
I wouldn't either. What does he have? Well, that disallow gets exiled.
And there it goes. So in the graveyard, what can we do with Jace to screw things up? Vraska's Contempt is gone.
Uh,
The Polluted Deltas are gone. I mean, we can play Jace and disallow it. But now you have a Gearhulk, a Liliana, and a Jace on board. That's still rough.
so I think you start with a Liliana minus. See if you hit anything.
Yeah. And if you can find a Contempt, that would be pretty great.
Okay, that's also a play. To -3 Jace and then flashback dig.
You can also eat up a lot of the stuff in the graveyard too with that.
Yeah. He said
I
you
still
could
think you
delve
want to
even to
minus
clarify
Liliana
more.
first.
I agree. Noah just picking up on what I was saying with gonna have to clarify what he's delving away.
So it looks like Languish and Fatal Push so far.
Chase. So it looks like you're just getting rid of anything that's castable.
Yeah. There goes Opt. We'll probably see the Grasp go as well.
So, besides Vraska's Contempt, is there anything you really want to hit as Sam?
Um, I'm. I don't think so. I think Contempt is your best hit.
Noah should have 2 left in his library, so there's a very high
Yeah.
chance that he's going to hit 1. Even still, he's not furthering his position in the game. He's just slowing Noah's down.
Yeah.
But Sam also can turn the game around a lot faster than Noah can.
Yeah. Like we just saw there, we have another way to get an Emrakul back, or we just draw an Emrakul. Then all of a sudden, things are looking grim again.
It's crazy that Green Black has maybe like, I think around 10, maybe more so cards that just instantly like in the game, just by the way they can all get Emrakul or something like that. It's almost like a combo deck, almost, but just in the way that it functions. But it's very
Notably,
interesting.
if Sam misses on this dig through time on Contempt, he does not have triple blue to cast Jace and Disallow.
True. So I don't know what he hit, and I don't know what he saw.
Well, I think we're about to find out. Now we see the -2 Lily. Okay, we'll disallow that. Sure. It looks
That
like he found
shuts off
nothing.
the option of Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah, but it looks like we didn't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just got to find a way to get rid of that disallow. Looks like he found Languish and Murderous Cut, which don't do a whole lot, I don't think.
Can you fail to find with Dig Through Time? Is that an option? Look at the top 7 cards, put 2 of them into your hands, and
No,
no, you cannot.
you cannot. Yeah. Oh, we can Murderous Cut Gearhulk still.
Oh, that's true, delving away even more stuff.
Yeah, getting rid of everything but a land. Okay.
Although
Murderous Cut was a good find then. Yeah. I mean, I think Murderous Cut was your best Vraska's Contempt, non-Vraska's Contempt find,
Yeah.
given
Maybe better in some ways, but probably not. So right now we're seeing something with blue black that I do think they suffer from. That something like Grixis, for example, can do better. Where when you play red in these blue black control decks, you can start buying back your torrential gear hulks much easier.
Right.
And
With K command.
yeah, and it kind of like plays similarly to these delirium decks, although
Right.
not as easy to finish, but similar grind power. And I'm curious why more decks aren't playing Grixis and so many have settled on blue black right now.
Well, I feel like your red splash is almost free with your fetch mana base.
I completely agree. So Fatal Push on Jace Prodigy. I don't think Noah cares at all about that.
No.
Oh, if Noah had been playing Scarab God, that also would change this game so much. I
Yes.
didn't even think about how Scarab God affects this matchup, but now thinking about that, I would much rather be on blue black side over green black in most cases.
When you have Scarab God, yeah.
Even though you don't like really get like the full advantage of Emrakul and stuff, just getting it rid of their side is all that you really need.
Yeah. If you can exile it out of the graveyard, that takes away a lot of green black's inevitability.
Bare minimum, just getting Grim Flayer back and like sorting through your top three cards as a control
Yeah.
deck. That's so nice.
Vessel's nice. Um, I'm not sure how many Liliana Death Majesties he's playing, but that would be a pretty good hit.
Walking
Looks like
Ballista.
Walking Ballista is his best bet.
You can play it for two. That's not great.
No, but it's the only way to check Liliana.
That's certainly true.
And you don't have to put all the counters on Liliana, obviously. It just continually checks whichever Planeswalker is getting closest to ultimating.
Yeah, and he can activate Walking Ballista multiple times a turn.
Yeah.
Okay, he's deciding to take the land. I'm not really sure what his logic is there, but
I'm not sure what land does for him at this point. I mean, I suppose it puts an artifact in his graveyard now. Did he have a Walking Ballista in there before?
he didn't, but I don't really know why that matters all that much. It's not like he's going to do much with his turns besides cast Emrakul anyway.
Right, and it puts him dead to Liliana much faster.
So Sam's kind of punted a few turns here, but
Yeah.
I think we could have seen Green Black win this game a few turns ago.
I think there were lines he could have taken that would have kept him in the game and prevented him, and he wouldn't be facing down this imminent Liliana threat.
He's still not out of the game necessarily because Emrakul does just like change it
It's a
that
two-turn
quickly,
clock.
but that Lily's getting so close now.
Yeah. I mean, Emrakul is a two-turn clock, and Liliana doesn't kill quite that fast, but Liliana will end the game.
So he's not playing any of his cards, which does not bode well for Sam.
There's Liliana Death
Liliana,
Majesty. Does it resolve?
I honestly think you have to let that resolve.
Well, no, you can't, because there's an Emrakul in the graveyard.
Does it come? It goes to hand, right?
No, it
Does
goes
it
to the
not?
battlefield.
Oh wow, shows how much I play against this Liliana. Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't
But
need the cast trigger, he just needs a two-turn clock.
you're right.
If there's no Blooded Fen, I no longer think Noah can win. Because Liliana's not going to be fast enough.
How many times this game did we say that? Oh, Noah's got the win. Sam's got the win. Noah's got the win.
Yeah, I know.
And it's all on the green black side. As we said, the Scarab God, like in blue black decks, definitely
Yeah.
helps. But
If that Emrakul's not sitting in the graveyard, Sam has no way to win. Like, sure, he could get back Ishkanah instead in this spot, but Ishkanah will still lose to Liliana Emblem.
Yeah, eventually.
The drain won't be fast enough.
This green black deck's just shown to be so resilient.
Yeah,
And it's only
Death
going to get better
Majesty.
in the sideboard with all its counter spells.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think. I mean, Noah hasn't obviously seen any blue or white yet, so he's not really sure what's going to happen in the sideboard. But I don't think he's going to be ready for that many counter spells.
Maybe he's going to expect stuff like Siege right now, and things
Yeah,
like that, and it'll make him sideboard even worse.
I think the white's throwing him off because in the chat earlier in the game he was saying four-color Delirium.
Right. I think at this point, if you go through that much of somebody's deck
Right.
and you
You have
only
an
see green and
idea.
black, you're kind of thinking that they're not. But Frontier is such an unexplored format that
Right.
you can expect anything.
But yeah, without Blighted Fen, I'm not sure how you deal with a resolved Emrakul on the board.
All
And yeah,
right,
Noah
finally seeing the
agrees.
concede. So that was about a 13 turn game where 13 different times we thought somebody else was going to win.
Yeah, it was definitely very swingy, but this green-black Delirium deck with Death Majesty and Seder Wayfinder has a lot more cards that directly affect its game plan or directly benefit from its game plan. Whereas
So,
before you played some cards that didn't do so much for that.
so sideboarding, I think that Sam's just really going to take apart that deck. He has two Lost Legacy, two Negate, and one Dispel, two
I don't
Caress.
I don't like Lost Legacy from Sam's side in this matchup.
Oh, really?
Um, because what you want to hit is the ways they win the game. Because if you can keep them from winning the game, then whatever. But you can't hit Gearhulk with that, which is the biggest thing I would want to hit.
True. Not an artifact. Forgot about that. Uh, on Noah's side, there's Crook of Condemnation, Transgress,
Transgress is nice
Negates,
because it
Lost
notably it
Legacy.
exiles. Lost Legacy, I think you want from Noah's side because it can deal with Emrakul, and Emrakul is really the big thing that you can't deal with.
After you hit Emrakul, it also gets rid of Ishkanon. There's like no way
Yeah,
they're beating you with just uh, with Grim Flayers and Satyr Wayfinders, things like that. They're just not going to be able to do that.
yeah.
Uh, Also Disdainful Stroke. I wouldn't be
I like
surprised to see
Safe
that.
Stroke. Countering Ishkanah or Liliana's big game.
But Transgress, Lost Legacy,
I think are your
and
two biggest
Crook.
hits. And Crook, yeah. I don't think there's anything for Spyglass. I don't think you want to bring that in just for Liliana.
Yeah. I'm still heavily favoring Sam in the sideboard
Yeah.
games. I'm not even sure that it's going to be close.
The counter spells are just huge.
So Noah brought in Lost Legacies, Crook, Disdainful Stroke, and something else he thinks.
Um, I have to believe he brought in Transgress the Mind.
I feel like you have to.
I would have boarded out both languages for sure.
Definitely.
I also would not have boarded out Push because if you don't answer that turn two Grimflayer, I think you're done.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Boarding out two pushes, one language, a Jace, and something else he doesn't know. He's probably tired as well. He's
That's
just
true.
played so many games in a row, and that one just went so long.
Yeah, that was a very long, grueling game. Lots of back and forth, lots of advantage going to one side or the other. He had a pretty quick keep there, though.
So I don't know what Sam boarded in, but in his opening hand, it looks like he has a Sunken Hollow, uh, Grapple the
Grapple,
Past,
Grimflayer, double
Grimflayer,
Grimflayer.
yeah, double Grimflayer, Liliana, Canopy Vista, and Flooded Strand.
Notably, it looks like he cannot play Grimflayer on turn two with that hand,
That's true.
but he can grapple, so it's not all bad.
And then from Noah's side, He has an island, polluted delta, disallow, Vraska's contempt, Jace, torrential gearhulk, and a disdainful stroke.
He kept that hand very quickly.
He's really risky on these 2 land hands.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, with Jace, he gets to loot, so that's nice, and that helps a lot.
I think playing against a mid-range black deck, I'm not putting a lot of confidence in my Jace to live.
You say that, but in Sam's spot, I think I would board out if I had fatal pushes. I think I would board them out against just Jace.
Yeah, you probably do. Either way, I'm still not thrilled to keep this hand. It's not the
No,
worst keep on earth,
it's not
but
great.
it's not something
But
you
turn
want to
two
see.
Jace does go a long way in forgiving all sins.
And we probably will see that happen right now.
I don't imagine you. There's nothing to disdainful stroke, obviously, so it has to be Jace. I don't think he would be
Yeah,
leaving
Jason
up push in
pass.
this spot. Oh, he found the Delta, so he does get to turn two Grimflare.
That's going to go unchecked for a while, most likely, unless Jace immediately hits a fatal push.
Yeah, but he boarded two of those out, so he only has one left, I believe.
Yeah, only one.
So it's not going to be until turn four of Vraska's Contempt.
I get
And
why he
then,
left in the languish, but as we said earlier, that seems very iffy.
yeah, it doesn't. Sure, it answers Grimflare and Fader Wayfinders and Spider Friends, but it doesn't answer all of Ishkanah and the rest of his threats. I don't think boards wipe the way you want to be against this green black deck. I don't think it does enough. And I think push is a lot more important because this Grimflare, as we're about to see, is going to just accelerate Sam's game plan so much.
Yeah, not only does it accelerate the game plan, just the fact that you're like going through your top 3 cards, it's also
Yeah.
so important against a control deck.
And it quickly becomes a 4/4, which is a very fast clock.
Definitely. So he's getting rid of Urborg and Windswept Heath and Satyr Wayfinder.
He just bended all.
Okay. That's kind of interesting to
I
see.
I think I like it because he has two Grimflares, and if he can get Delirium really fast, um, of course this one's going to be disallowed, but if he has two 4/4s on the board, that's a very quick game.
Are you at all tempted to let that resolve just so you can hold your disallow for something more impactful? Or do you think you just absolutely have to deal with that immediately?
Given his hand of Gearhulk, Disdainful Stroke, Contempt, Disallow, Dig Through Time, I don't think you can.
I agree with that. But always good to see options.
Yeah, I mean, I would. It's not something I want to disallow, but in that spot, there's nothing else I can do. If I let that resolve, I die. Because Contempt only answers one of them, and now the other one is still hitting me.
So Noah, like always, hitting his lands and like on stride. I don't know how he does it.
Well, he does have Jace to help him with looting. He was able to loot and put his dig through time in the graveyard, notably for his Gearhulk.
So how many cards are in Noah's graveyard? Only 3. So
At
uh,
this point, I think you want fewer cards in your graveyard, so Jace can continue looting and finding your lands.
probably. So we're gonna see a grapple here, which could easily hit Delirium.
Notably, there is Vraska's Contempt, though, for Noah, so at
Right.
least he's dealing with this board.
Definitely.
But there's a Liliana on the horizon, and if he can find Delirium plus Ishkanah, or Emrakul,
Well, he's a few land off of Emrakul. Just a few. But
he's
I don't
got
know.
6 effective Emrakul mana, I believe, at the moment. 3 lands and 3 card types.
Yep. I might be
Um,
tempted to bin that Emrakul just so I can get back Grimflayer and like let my
yeah,
clock keep going.
I actually think I like Emrakul in the graveyard, because then you can bring it back with Liliana on turn 5.
Right. And that's just it's so good.
Notably, Noah is looting before casting Vraska's Contempt, indicating he wants to keep Jace around, as I said earlier, to find his line drops.
That's very smart on his part. So discarding an
Yeah.
opt.
I think
And
that's fine because I believe his hand otherwise is Disdainful Stroke, Gearhulk. Actually, we're not sure what the third card is because he discarded his
dig,
dig
right?
2 times.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He discarded dig, yeah.
I still think it's probably a good card to throw away.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see one more loot with Jace here.
Yep.
That Sunken Hollow
Nope.
comes in. Oh, no, no. Never mind.
That's a good play.
Definitely.
Um, it finds sorcery and planeswalker, and it gets Jace before it flips. And oh, contempt. So it hits. Yeah, disdainful stroke.
Stroke. I agree with that.
Because contempt doesn't do anything against Emrakul.
That is not a good hand from Noah's side, but
No,
I
he's two
guess
lands short of Gearhulk, and he missed his fifth land.
I guess if you're looking at Sam's side, he's not super favored right now.
He's
He's
got
on nine
nine effect.
Emrakul.
Yeah.
That's quite a ways off.
Again, though, he discarded his Liliana to accelerate his Emrakul, and does he have to play here? Ooh, Glimmer was a good draw.
Definitely, that was a great draw.
However, I think I like playing it main phase on Noah's side just to hit my fifth land drop so I can turn on a potential turn six gear untap play land Gearhulk.
Yeah, he's really got to find a way to end this game quickly with the Emrakul on the horizon.
Because now, if he does find a land off this Glimmer, he's only going to be hitting his fifth land drop. Whereas if he played it on his main phase, he would be able to potentially hit his sixth on this next turn.
You do have to wonder why didn't Sam want to play Liliana and get back Emrakul?
Yeah, he's done that 3 times now, or sorry, 2 times now in both games where he's aggressively discarded Liliana, where he could be getting some amount of value.
I wonder if he just values the ability to cast Emrakul that much more.
Interesting. Sam just saying he brought in 2 Tormod scripts. Seems like a bit of a.
Uh,
I feel like my grave, where if I'm in Sam's seat, I feel like my graveyard plan is much better than the Gearhulk plan.
he didn't bring in any Lost Legacy, nor did he bring in
Well, I agree with him
Transgress.
not bringing in Lost Legacy because I don't think it does enough because it doesn't hit Gearhulk.
I'm getting confused with Noah's side because he
Yeah,
also
no,
didn't have
this is
Transgress.
Sam's
Yeah,
sideboard plan. He's saying he took out the push, which I agree with. Ballista, I like it a lot better than Tormod script.
if you're just trying to get an artifact in the graveyard, I agree. Because Ballista is so much more.
And here we
Okay,
find Lost Legacy to deal with Emrakul.
that's so punishing.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the Liliana anymore because he discarded it to aggressively get Emrakul online.
And he also doesn't have an Ishkanar yet.
Right.
Noah's made these games a lot more competitive than they could be.
Yeah.
Gotta give him some credit there.
Unfortunately, losing that Jace to Collective Brutality was huge because he definitely wanted to keep that around for more looting and he wanted to flip it and then have things, but he lost all of that.
So looking at Sam's hand now, he could have even played the Liliana that turn.
Yeah, because he has Pluto Delta.
Oh wow, he named Ishkanar.
Oh,
That's crazy.
interesting. What is his plan then for this Emrakul? Because we're on 10 effective mana, 11 with the Pluto Delta in hand.
Oh, what? I guess if he has a Jason hand, I can see why he would do that, but
I think Jace would be too slow because I don't think it would be able to flash back Legacy in time.
that's so
Because
weird.
if he has land Jace, he's able to. If he has land Jason, it's fast enough. but it needs to be land Jace, I think.
I don't understand that play at all. I'm so fixated
No,
on it.
I don't like Ishkanah's good, yes, but you can eventually deal with it all. And you knew he had Emrakul in hand too.
Yeah, like so. Not only is it getting rid of Emrakul, the most important threat, it's also acting as a discard.
Well, Lost Legacy it does provide if it was in hand, you get a redraw.
I mean, still, I'd rather them have just a random
Oh,
card than over an
yeah,
Emrakul.
for sure. But I don't know. It's I'm not certain about Noah's line of play there. He could also just have the second Lost Legacy, and he knew he wouldn't be able to cast Emrakul this turn.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, there's Liliana. I'd get back a Grim Player at this point.
I think you have to. What is the card from Battle from Zendikar that's the same effect as Lost Legacy?
Um,
I can't remember the name, but what is like the reason that you play Lost Legacy over that card?
is there one from? I don't think it's from Battle for Zendikar. I think it's
Or from Oath of the Gatewatch?
no. I don't think it's Oath to Get What either. I think I know what you're talking about. But that one only hits creatures, I believe. I think it was from Origins. Oh shoot, I know
Hmm.
what card you're talking about. I'm pretty sure.
You might be right. But
Um,
it's only because it hits creatures.
I'm pretty sure it only hits creatures.
I think I still value that just in the ability to hit
Infinite
Gear
Obliteration.
Hulks. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find out what set that's from because I want to know that now. Yeah,
I'm almost
Origins.
positive, yeah. Origins.
Yeah, it says choose a creature card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of name and exile them.
Okay, Transgress is also a reason that you don't take Emrakul. I still think I
Sure.
take Emrakul, but that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you've dealt with that Emrakul. There are two left,
He
but now
also
you.
can't rebuy Emrakul with
Yeah,
Transgress, which is so nice.
that's why Transgress is so good in the matchup. I think
Right.
from the blue-black control player side at least. I think if I'm Noah and I'm playing a mid-range creature deck, I don't think I bring in Transgress, but I'm not sure. But now he has this Liliana that's generated two more threats. So
And,
yeah, Vraska's Contempt will answer Liliana, but now maybe it won't.
and he's missing out on his land drops the past 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there's a backup Contempt, so that's good for Noah.
Okay.
I think I agree with that because Contempt is going to happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And it also makes you have to play Gear Hulk to get rid of the next Emrakul.
Yeah. But Contempt only goes so far. It will deal with Liliana, but then you get hit for six, and Grimflaya goes off.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough mana to be doing multiple things because you didn't get that last loot off of Jace.
So, doesn't seem like he hit a land, which is absolutely what he needed to hit.
Oh, he needed lands.
And he drew a disallow.
Oof. And this line of play here is why I'm not sure why Sam was so ready to discard Liliana earlier in both games. Because Liliana generated so much value that it requires almost three cards to answer one card.
Right. Maybe he's afraid of a Tormod's Crypt or something, and he didn't want to put his Emrakul in the graveyard. I could see that.
Did he? Oh wait, he found Wayfinder instead of Grimflayer. My mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was a Grimflayer and it was a much faster clock. Huh. I think I would have taken Grimflayer there.
Maybe he's trying to turbo Emrakul, just get one in the graveyard, but then that goes against what I just said about being afraid to put Emrakul in his graveyard.
And now Contempt has to answer a token.
I don't think I like that. You're at a high enough life total where you can just
Yeah,
keep taking it for a while.
which is also why I would have taken the Grimflayer because it just puts on a much faster clock.
Yep,
Do you have access to Sam's list? Does it play Hissing Quagmire?
I can check. It does not.
Because that would be a pretty good um
Or even
way to
Lumbering
just.
Falls.
Lumbering Falls is actually really good. Okay, Lumbering Falls is probably even better.
So Noah did hit his land these last two turns.
Yes, which might just turn the game around.
And if he had that second Vraska's Contempt, he'd even be in an even better position. But I guess he's just going to hold off the Gear Hulk until he can play that.
But you notice here where Sam is drawing not great. Noah's at a high life total. If that had been Grimflayer, he would have gotten an activation off of the Grimflayer. He'd still have his token instead, and he would have gotten to smooth out his draws a little better.
Yep.
But instead, he went for the Wayfinder, which was slower clock. Does draw you a land, but I don't think the trigger on the ETB of Wayfinder is better than hitting with Grimflayer.
So we're seeing a dig off the Torrential Gear Hulk.
Yep.
With a
And
disallow in
that's,
hand, I think we'll probably see Noah win, but we said that a
yeah,
lot last game.
we sure did.
I have a hard time seeing Sam being able to come back. He sent a
Yeah.
message saying he has 5 hits left, and I'm assuming that means for Emrakul.
Yeah, I imagine he has some number of traverses and then the actual Emeralds.
So he's got a 1 in 5 chance to hit an Emrakul, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
But I believe this is at the end of Sam's turn,
Right.
so he's going to have disallow up.
Yep.
So Emrakul won't hit the board. Sure, he'll get the turn, but
That could still buy him some time.
yeah,
Those Mindslaver effects are so strong.
they certainly are.
So I wonder if he took a land or if he just drew the land.
Ooh, there goes
Okay.
Emrakul.
That's game. Sam's going to have to win off the back of Grim Player and Satyr Wayfinder, which just isn't going to happen.
I can't imagine he's playing more than two Death Majesties.
Yeah, he was. Only two.
Yeah. And Sam
Oh,
realizing
he's playing
that he
three.
has
My
a...
bad.
Oh, he's playing three Death Majesties?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he doesn't have any way to deal with Torrential Gear Hulk.
I don't think he cares that much. Like, once it's on board, sure, it's a problem if it's an empty board, but if you have Ishkanah, then the board is all gummed up and
He doesn't have
Gearhulk doesn't
Ishkanah,
do
though.
enough.
It got hit by that first Lost Legacy.
But yeah, definitely in that spot, um, Gearhulk was going to be very hard to manage with no Ishkanah to gum up the board.
So, is it just me, or did their game freeze?
I've seen Sam take a mulligan, and then Noah kept his
Oh,
7.
wow. They already mulliganed and drew their hands. Okay. My game was, like, still on game 2.
Okay, have you caught up?
Yeah, I have. That was crazy.
Okay. Turn 1 Vessel's pretty good.
Uh,
It helps him reload after a mulligan. Looks like he kept Grimflayer, Vessel, 2 lands, Grapple, and Ishkanah on Sam's side. Again, notably not able to turn 2 Vessel, or turn 2 Grimflayer, excuse me.
so we're seeing that Tormod's Crypt here, and It just seems
right?
so anemic.
It really does. Again, like I said when we discussed this earlier, I feel like Sam's graveyard plan is just so much better.
Well, and there we have a crook. What matchup do you even want Tormod's Crypt in when you're playing Delirium? Like
I
Rally? Something like
I
that?
I think Rally would probably be the only one.
Maybe Zoffink's like Bant deck, but that's only one
Yeah,
player.
a Godpharaoh's gift deck, sure, but I can't imagine you're expecting that when you're putting Crypt in your sideboard.
Right.
I think other than the Crypt though, I think Sam's deck looks pretty sweet.
So Noah doesn't have any plays up to this point, I don't think.
No, but this Crook is going to go a long way in keeping him off Delirium.
Yes, it will. And he also has an answer to the Grim Player. And he'll probably hit his lands for Gear Hulk in time because he kept a 4-land hand.
Yeah, triple torrential Gearhulk is pretty
Wow.
clunky.
Triple Gear Hulk, Dig Through Time, Vraska's Contempt, Radiant Fountain. Wow, 3
Hmm.
Gear Hulks are not nice.
No, but once he gets to six, I don't see him having any trouble if he can get there and have things to do with the Gearhulks.
So we'll probably see a Crook activation at the end of turn.
Yep, probably hit Wayfinder because that's the most likely thing to come back.
Yeah, you don't really care about Traverse or Liliana all that much besides the card type.
Yeah, and you can hit those at your leisure.
Yeah. Oh, Sam missed his land drop.
Again, I think again this is like I was talking about earlier with that glimmer of genius. I think you want a main phase, a vessel or a grapple, so you can hit your land drop.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, it
just
seems
falling
like
too far
Sam has
down.
to go anyway.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, those were interesting games.
Yep, Sam's deck definitely looks really sweet.
Well, I think we're going to call the stream here.
It's
Those are
fun.
pretty good games on Noah's side.
Yeah,
Uh, he won the majority of them, went 4-1, and definitely he won his league match, and that was nice.
that was
He's
the
a
most
real nice
important part.
guy. Anyway, this is the Untap Open League. I'm Taylor.
I'm Clayton.
Thanks for tuning in.